What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Vicki Street, and you're tuned in to Will Mass Artist Spotlight. On God. All right, so most people know me as Vicki Street. That's because that is actually my name. My first name is Victoria, so it's just Vicki shortened. Street, shout out to my daddy. That's really the last name. Shout out to the lineage and the legacy. But most people, they just call me Street or Vicki Street together. Really, it started in college. I started hosting shows back then, and a lot of folks thought that I rapped already just because of my name, so it just kind of stuck. An artist to me is somebody who has no boundaries and don't care about what nobody else got to say about what's coming up out of their brain. I feel like, to me, an artist is somebody who is crazy. You gotta be crazy to create something from nothing. Do you know how hard it is to get people to believe something that you see in your dream that you just came up with out of nowhere or from God? Shout out to him. An artist is somebody who just does not care and who continues to push the boundaries and the limits from their mind. Well, I'm 27. I'm coming straight from, I'm gonna say, the South Burbs. I've lived in so many different burbs, but I grew up in Blue Island though, so all everywhere from Madison, Richmond Park, Sauk Village. I've lived in a lot of different areas of Chicago, Bronzeville, Hyde Park, went to school downtown Chicago for college. My background, pretty much, I'm a preacher's kid. They say we the worst ones. I just think we just so happen to have a spotlight on us, okay? That's all that is. People be trying to judge. Ain't nothing wrong with us. We be wilding, but I think it's the same level of wilding. But, shout out to my parents, shout out to my church family that, has kept me through these years. I can definitely say that, like, half of the stuff that I've been through probably would have been 10 times worse if I didn't have a prayer and, praying mother, praying parents over me. So that's my background. All right, so for the past 10 years, I have been emceeing. I have been rocking stages. I've hosted everything from baby showers, open mics, fire drills, fashion shows, like daddy-daughter dances, everything you can think of. And for the past 2 years, I decided to take my artist career as far as rapping more seriously. So in this pandemic, I've been getting into my rap bag. And, I just say it's all...
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's
Chris! But since I was born, ever since I was a kid, hip-hop has been something that has been very innate within me. My brother used to play Outkast growing up, and Tupac and Biggie. So, ever since I was a kid, I've always had hip-hop ingrained in me, and music has been ingrained in me too. Can't forget that I've been playing like instruments like sax, drums, piano since I was a kid as well. So music and this artistry has always been within me. I think the best aspect of my art is that it's witty. I think an aspect of my art draws from my childhood, my upbringing. I was never I was told I talked a lot growing up. I was always that kid who was getting moved in the class. But my parents, they pretty much just let me express myself and say what I needed to say, with all respect, of course. But, the fact that I have never been told to, don't say that, hide this piece. I've always been very much praised for my opinions and what I say, and encouraged to say what I need to say. I grew up at the lunch table roasting people, so in my raps you'll hear some of the witty bars. I also think I have a lot of soul. There's an old soul within me. If anybody has ever met me, they'd be like, she been here before. So you can definitely hear aspects of my parents' music coming through within my music as well. I think it's always good to pay homage to those before you. So my creative process, I try to write every day. Sometimes I have to come back to what I'm writing, but I try to write every day. I'm not gonna lie. When I write, my creative process is getting alone. Like, I usually go right by the lake. I do hit the Blees one time. I just have to zone all the way out, but it's something about water for me. So I really do. I be at Promontory Point writing. Like, I will go find me some water. I'll go find me a backyard or something like that, and I just have the same notebook that I write in. It's something about writing instead of putting it down in your phone for the notes. Like, I just have to have my notebook everywhere with me, and that's my creative process. I would say the need to change my situation inspires me. Like, I can't keep living life the way that I've been living life. That is what inspires me. There are things and there are places that I've been trying to get to while my parents are still living, while I still have both of my parents here on this earth. There is somewhere that I'm trying to get them to see. Like, of course, I've done a lot of things in my life to be proud of, and I'm so glad that, you know, my parents and other people have been there to see, but I am not satisfied yet. I am not where I want to be yet. There's a certain level of success that I'm still trying to strive towards, and so I would say that both of my parents are the reason why I grind so hard, because not only am I trying to change my situation, I'm trying to change their situation too. You know, I think having kids are a blessing so that hopefully one day you can see the fruits of your labor. And you know, here I am like a Chiquita banana, just trying to let my parents see the fruits of their labor. I want my art to express that you can do anything. Like, I hate barriers and boundaries. I want people to be their authentic selves. So I am somebody who stands at the crossroads of so many different intersections and don't like to be told to hush. So that's what I want people to get from it. I don't care if you know, who you love. I don't care what your economic background is. Like, there's really no excuses to continue to shut yourself in a box. We have society doing that already to us, so why do it to ourselves? My ultimate goal is to usher in a new sound, first within the city, but then within the world. Like, I feel like back in the day, like even in the mid-2000s, like, there was just a different vibe, you know? Like, hip hop created a different vibe for people. A lot of different artists had clothing brands back then, record labels, their own liquor, like, had different call to actions, you know, vote or die was happening, like everything was going on. And I just don't know what's happening right now. Like, I don't know if, you know, artists are aware of their influence. Clearly they must not be, because if they did, they would be doing something different or taking it more seriously. So, you know, my ultimate goal right now is to just bring back the camaraderie within the city. And I think it starts with myself and talking to more of my peers and other tastemakers like that and seeing what we can get going, especially within the city of Chicago. I think my biggest advice for people who are like me, creatives in general, is to always be networking. Like, don't be on no underlying grimy stuff, but like to always, like for me, I'm always listening to somebody's story to figure out how I can potentially bless them. It might not always be monetary all the time, but I understand that like sometimes my next blessing and your next blessing is just within the next person. So I would just say continue to live your life authentically, and as long as you're not holding that back, the rest is gonna come to you. Some genuine person is gonna see that, but you gotta keep it real first. Well, you know, I have a degree in TV and radio broadcasting, so I feel like my plan B, especially in this age of like social commentary, plan B is to get on somebody's airwaves. You know, the revolution is gonna be live, so who gonna tell the story? And I just feel like no matter if it's through rapping or my social commentaries, there will always be a place to be the voice of the streets. That ain't never gonna stop. Yes. So we got big things popping off in the spring. I'll be dropping my first EP entitled With Everything Going On. And it's just going to be a combination of things from the past 2 years, like with everything that's going on. You know, that's what Black folks call the pandemic anyways. And so there's been so much love and heartbreak and even some successes and even a little bit of partying too going on in there. So I just want to tell my story, and I think it's really going to connect with people. Of course, we got more shows popping up too next year, so just stay tuned for that. Number one, I gotta go with Notorious B.I.G. That's the homie right there, the fellow Gemini. Then we gotta go with the second Gemini, Kendrick Lamar. That's my favorite modern day rapper. Then we gotta spin it a little bit to the alternative. I love Kaytranada. That's my, my guy. That's my producer out there, out in Canada. Then I'm gonna go with Anderson .Paak. I love him as a modern artist who's doing a lot of soul. And then number 5, you know what? I gotta go with my girl MC Lyte. My vocal twin right there, just because she was the first female artist to like really pioneer hip hop. So I love anybody who's the first at doing something and breaking barriers and not sticking to the status quo. Like I see so much of, myself and her and myself. So really those are my top 5 artists. They are all people who are coming through with that voice and that different sound and that feel and that vibe. And I think you'll be able to see a lot of their inspiration in my creations too. Okay, I get to have 2 celebrity crushes because y'all know God made me to like the men's and the women. So let's see. Celebrity crush. I've been crushing on Shamar Moore for like ever. I just have some type of like crush with guys who have these big like puppy dog eyes that look like he'll never leave me nor forsake me. Hope not. And then when it comes to women, dang, it's a lot of fine women out here. I ain't gonna lie. I think Dylan Gonzalez is fine. Of course, Sweetie is fine, but like I can't be just saying Sweetie. Like everybody knows she fine. I think KD Arbor is fine. Remember her from Soul Plane? I think she fine. On the white tip, I think Scarlett Johansson is fine and Megan Fox is fine too. Okay, and all right, that's another story. So let me see. Who else be fine? I don't really be crushing on celebrities like that because they just regular people. Like, why would you do that? But I want to say one more person. I'm trying to see. It's this artist. Her name is MKX. Y'all got to look up MKXYZ on Instagram. Shorty fine. Y'all, those who know. And then I want to throw one more guy out there at y'all because I've been heavy on the women. Oh, yes. Rome Flynn from How to Get Away with Murder. He is fine. So Lord, if you hear me out here, we come to you right now because we are asking for a man with waves, okay? Yes, the slick joints. You know what? I want to shout out some homies right now on the favorite designer tip. We gonna go with my guy All. That's Ann Lewis. He got some fly bags out there, ladies. He got the purses. I've been heavy on the Telfar and Brandon Blackwood tip as well. So once again with the black owned joints. On the vintage tip, I love Carl Kanai. Like that's one of my favorites. Right now where we sitting there, we in Christopher's attic. I get a lot of my vintage pieces from Christopher, so hit him up if you in Bronzeville. Let's see. Yeah, I'll say that's about it. I'm just heavily about supporting some homegrown stuff. It ain't always about the Louis and the Gucci. That's gonna be there. You know what? As much as I love social media, I definitely prefer real life. I could tell a lot about a man by the way he texts and hit me up in the DMs, because if it's a typo, we ain't going. I can't stand when niggas can't text right. Like, yeah, so we're not doing that. I have to meet you in real life. I gotta see what them shoes looking like on the first night. So yeah. Dang, we out here changing people? You know what? That's a good question. I don't think that I would change anything about myself at this point. And that's crazy because there are things that I tried to change about myself coming up. Like, not many people know this, but I actually have a birth defect with my arm. This arm, right here, this right arm, is not straight. I was born with it a little bit curved, so I had a complex about that coming up. Yeah, like this arm is totally twisted. Doctors pulled me out the wrong way, so I actually was gonna break my arm before I got to college because I wanted to start a new life, and I didn't want anybody, like, I didn't want anything holding me down. Like, you know, growing up in school, I couldn't climb the rope, and I had created a whole complex about myself in 5th grade just because I couldn't do that. But I don't know, probably because of some of the setbacks that I've had in my life that I was gonna change, it just created this whole nother persona about myself where it's like, look at me and look at the other things that I can really do that are just amazing, to the point where nobody could even tell what was going on. So yeah, I don't think I would change anything because it just makes me that more unique. Ooh. Now, you know I love to eat. Okay, let's see. You know what? So I really love brisket. So there's some fire brisket at Green Street Smoked Meats in the West Loop. That's fire. It's also some fire brisket at Blackwood Barbecue downtown. And then at Truth Italian Restaurant, it is a fried chicken Alfredo omelet. That's over in Bronzeville. I just put y'all on the 3 fire places real quick, so y'all gotta go check them out. And hold up, cause y'all know Mama Street be chefing, so you know you gotta get you some Divine Treats and Heavenly Eats. My mama be smacking on everything from the Southern Tip, so yeah, definitely she got me covered. Why everybody think I always got a tattoo just cause I'm light skinned? They be saying that. I do not have any tattoos because my mother has kept me, so stay tuned. I am thinking about a couple tattoos, so you're gonna have to find out on the next episode because I'm gonna be a bad girl when I get them tattoos. My biggest fear is seeing my own death. Like, if I'ma die, just take me up out of here, and I wake up and I'm like, what's good, Moses? But other than that, like, I literally have a fear of the type of death where I'm like driving on the E-way and I'm going over a bridge, and now I'm flying over the bridge in the car and I forgot to roll my windows up, and now them joints stopping, all the water pouring in, and I'm like, I'm finna see the death, you know? Like, I ain't trying to go out like that. So yeah. So thank you for sticking with me through the interview. It's your girl, Vicki Street. You can find me on everything on IG at _Vicki Street. I'm on Twitter at Voice of Streets. I mean, I don't be on Facebook like that. You know, that's for the family, but you can still find me on that too. We on LinkedIn too, or you can check out everything, VickiStreet.com. That's www.VickiStreet.com.